Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's do it. Now I'm remembering the eye contact.
I hate the first date questions.
Yeah, nah.
We met at Marcus. I figured you weren't from here. I feel like when you live here, you kind of know the scene.
You were walking by. I think I was sitting down. I was like, hey, can you do me a favor? And you were like, yeah, what's up? I was like... I think that might have thrown you off a little bit.
I have faked orgasms at the beginning because I'm not fully comfortable. What do you think is the number one thing to men overlook?
It's how to make a girl orgasm.
Can you give some tips for the men?
There's a power dynamic. All the power is in the hands of the woman before sex. Most guys would rather just her ask, how much do you make? That's really what she's asking.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I was like, oh, I do crypto. Do you have anything else going on? Because it's not looking good if we have a family.
It's good. Yeah, no, definitely not. That should have been red flag number one. Anyone with an Instagram? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, Andrew Tate. Would you date an OnlyFans girl?
Would I date one?
Would I fuck one? That's a different question.
So most girls, whether or not they want to admit it, they need to be with a guy that they fear that they would lose.
What's your love language?
Quality time is probably my number one.
Okay, cute.
And then physical touch, for sure.
As a guy, if you don't say that, it's like, yay!
You're listening to the X Podcast. The X you keep coming back to.
This episode is sponsored by 760 Media, located on DeCarry Street. Guys, if you are listeners of my podcast, you know that I literally fully converted to 760 Media because they have so many different podcast rooms to film. If you were ever planning on starting a podcast, this is the place to go. They do cuts, trailers for you, everything. So you don't need to be an expert. You just let the experts do the work for you. So I have a discount code for you guys, and it's X the podcast at checkout for 15% off. Enjoy. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the X podcast. Today we're joined with a backup guest.
Appreciate you. You turned down Nav.
My first guest actually canceled because she had a pimple on her chin. So I was in desperation mode. And you know what? I figured out a second guest. So guys, give it up for Peyton.
Thank you for the warm introduction. I got cold called, and she sold me to be here on this podcast. So first time, I appreciate it.
No, but I think a lot of people don't understand when you have a podcast and someone cancels and you've already booked the studio, you're like, okay, well, I need a film. What am I going to do? And then I'm getting a call from you, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is literally perfect timing. Peyton needs to come on the podcast. And already when you called me, I was like, Peyton, what are you doing? You need to come on the podcast. He's like, leave me out of this. And here he is.
I hope I made the right decision.
I bribed him with tequila. I'm like, come, it's going to be so fun. Anyway, so here we are. Peyton's actually not from Montreal. He's in town. So where are you from?
I'm originally from New York City, but I live in Miami right now.
Okay.
Yep.
And he's been here for a month now, almost a month.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts?
Oh, I love Montreal. You guys are very friendly. It's
interesting.
Yeah, definitely interesting for sure. But everyone's very warm, welcoming, friendly. It's fun this time of year too. Everyone's cooped up, it seems like, the whole winter.
Yeah.
So everyone's out and about. It's nice. And living in Miami, it gets really hot. So I wanted to take a little bit of break.
Yeah.
And I've been coming to Montreal for 3 years.
It always amazes me when people come to Montreal and they're like, I love it here. But obviously it's different when you're, not here, living here. And you're just kind of here for a little bit. But what would you say is the difference between the girls in Miami versus here? You're like, let's dive right in.
To be honest, they're... In terms of looks or personality, what do you mean?
I mean, I guess all around.
It's all around. We can take this in steps. Nah, actually, it's pretty similar in terms of looks.
Okay.
In my opinion, yeah, it's a lot of everyone takes care of their appearance. They're into looking their best, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everyone in Miami too is very friendly.
Yeah.
But in Montreal, everyone.
But way more surgery in Miami. Come on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know?
It's like the lip filler capital of the world. Yeah, definitely.
More like BBL of the world.
Oh yeah, that too.
Wait, do you like a girl with surgery?
I prefer more natural.
Okay.
To be honest, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I feel like most people.
But I think a lot of men say that, but then like they won't even realize when like a girl actually gets shit done.
Yeah, I would say like the more subtle. If you do have it,
Yeah.
that's fine. Like no one wants to look at like lizard lips.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
a little bit of filler is fine, but don't go like over the top with it. I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so like okay, and what about like personality wise? How's dating in Miami?
Dating in Miami, if I'm being brutally honest, it's
Only honesty, Peyton.
yeah, for sure.
As if you're a guy, you can only be honest.
Because it's such like a transient city where people are coming and going and visiting. Obviously, there's people born and raised in Miami, and a lot of people that live there. It's just still like people are there to have fun, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, people could read between the lines of what that means. It's just hard. Like I feel like not a lot of people maybe can put a lot of trust in people. So it is a little bit difficult if you're trying to like settle down and be very serious, which, you know, there's other places that I would recommend doing that.
Like, please let me know so I can go there.
Know, like Omaha, Nebraska, you know, Boise, Idaho. Like if you're looking for the one, yeah, I would probably go there. Not Miami. There's just too much going on.
Obviously, it's 2024. People are mostly toxic. It's really hard. Like when you look at like today and just the mentality people have, and it's just like always a game. It's so hard to actually.
Where do you go to find like your person? I'm just curious because it all depends on where the venues and the place. Like where do you go?
So I don't go out that much. But if I do go out, it's never really a club, to be honest. It's mostly like a lounge or a restaurant.
Okay.
Should I go to the library, Peyton? What are we?
Isn't that where we met? No, I'm just kidding. No, I can't. Maybe a coffee shop, library is good. But yeah, if you're going out, I guess restaurants, lounges.
Yeah.
That's generally.
Where would you like approach a girl mostly? You're like a club because that's where I go.
Nah, no clubs. Like when you
he doesn't
like
go
when
there.
you said I don't go out that much. Don't ever trust a girl that says that. Ever. But no, I would say I'm just trying to think. You know, sometimes in a park is a good place to meet people, or even on the street. Obviously,
But what do you do? Because I'm not believing this park situation.
Nah, the days of like a lot of guys I feel like don't really like cold approach women.
Yeah.
Not saying that like I really do that, but yeah, most of the time like if I'm out at a bar or a club, like yeah, generally that's the easiest way to meet people. Obviously, there's dating apps, but people have their.
Are you on a dating app?
Am I on a dating app?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really like. Even
What is
use,
it? Which one?
Hinge.
Okay, you're on Hinge.
Yeah, but it's again I don't really like use. I feel like people use the dating apps like out of pure boredom.
I'm on Raya. It's the only one I'm on. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I think you were. What is that though?
So you apply, and then if they like you, they like your job title, they like the way you look, they like the overallness, and they
really?
do like background check on
Oh,
you.
they like verify. Like,
They
there's like
verify
a verification
you.
process.
So there's no
Wow.
like Dexter situation happening on Raya. Like you're not gonna get serial killed. You know, like you're verified most likely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you find that? Any luck?
It's interesting.
Really?
It's definitely
What
an
makes you
interesting
say that?
app. Because I feel like, first of all, most men that I match with are not like from here.
Okay.
They're from like another city.
Could you like set your
No,
location?
I don't. I just like I don't actually like. There's not many Montreal people that I connect with, or they even show me. I don't think there's many people in Montreal that are on Raya.
Got it. Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you said it's very selective, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
and like, you know, I don't feel like most Montreal people are on the app.
I'd much rather meet people.
Okay, so how
and
will
about.
you go up to a girl? If you see a girl, you're like, ooh.
If I see a girl,
Yeah.
and like, has there been any like eye contact or anything?
Okay.
Or like, that's what I look for. Like, I'm not gonna like go be like a girl that has her back turned to me and like tap her on the shoulder and be like, "Hi, what's up?" Like, no, I would never do that. I will also never like go up to a girl and like flat out offer to like buy her a drink. I feel like that's like what most guys do.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just like
Okay.
you kind of probably want to stand out a little bit more. So
Okay.
like, I feel like by doing that, you're kind of like
Yeah, but if
pedestalizing.
I'm like talking to a guy and he doesn't offer me a drink, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I'm saying right off the bat, like I want to get to know you first, so that's not gonna be my opener.
Okay, fair. So how do you open up?
I mean, it's all situational. I mean, You know, it could be as simple as like.
Okay, I'm there. Okay, I'm giving you eye contact. How are you approaching me?
Doing a real life scenario. Yeah, I mean,
He's
I
like,
could
"I'm
literally
trying."
just come up to you and be like, hey, I don't think we know each other, but I think we should change that. And then just.
Okay. It seems very like automated.
Oh, it's like
You
a
know,
case,
like,
yeah,
hey,
it's
I don't think we know each other, but we should get to know each other.
But you got to just keep it simple.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
To be honest, if a girl's truthfully like attracted to you, she's not gonna be like, oh, I don't like his one liner, I'm not gonna talk to him, you know?
Yeah,
I think a
yeah.
lot of people forget that. It's like most of the time you get rejected when someone's just not vibing you.
Absolutely.
How many times like can someone say something so bad that's gonna turn you off and you're gonna be like, okay.
A lot of times it's like half the time you're in a loud bar, everyone's drunk. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't even really matter what you say sometimes. It's just how you say it if you do it with confidence. Like
And if
unless
the
you're
girl-
like hideous, then the girl's probably like gonna at least entertain it for a little bit. You know, step one, be good looking, I guess.
Wait, so Peyton, how do you become good looking?
As a guy? Pretty simple.
Tell me.
Well, I would say probably like be in athletic shape. I mean, it depends on like what most girls
Okay.
are into.
Yeah, that's a fair one.
Yeah, I would say be in shape, do something like get a haircut or something like that.
'Kay.
Have good like facial hygiene. You know,
'Kay.
look presentable. Yeah, I feel like it's actually maybe it's not easier as a guy. It's like you're kind of either
Every
ugly-
guy listening is like, okay, pretty boy, like,
Yeah.
hey, good.
No, but then if you're not that good looking, then you have to make up for it with your confidence and like when you go up to like
For
it's-
sure.
Yeah, but I
I
feel
think
like
confidence is everything.
yeah, that's probably the most attractive thing
You
that a
know,
guy can
like
display.
I
Yeah.
have given chances to guys who have not been my type because I'm like, wow, like such good personality. Yeah.
Well, how do you like to get
But then
approached?
it's never worked out. So maybe that's not enough.
There you go. Yeah. Where are they now?
I'm fucking dead.
I'm a sponsored baby, duh.
We're not going to talk about my outfit and the fact that I look like a matcha. Are you kidding me? Hold on. I look like a delicious matcha, but if you think that I'm the tastiest thing you've ever tasted, then think again, okay? Because guys, I have Magic Mind with me today. And I think it's very important that I mention that I struggle the most with ADHD. I think in our generation today, we deal with like social media and, you know, having a hard time focusing on things for a long period of time without getting distracted. And like, I'm that girl. Like, it's very hard for me to keep my attention on one thing. And one thing that has definitely helped me with that is Magic Mind. This has done with coffee, I wish would have done for me. You know what I mean? Like, you think you're going to take coffee and then it's going to just like bring you through the day. No, it has highs and lows where this really stabilizes me for the entire day. So I take this shot and normally I like to put it with ice and cashew milk. You can also put it with coconut milk, whatever suits you. Or you can literally just take the shot as is. Like, it tastes so good. I'm going to put up all the ingredients that help with this. So boom, 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 and boom. This way you can live your life authentically you and also just be the best version of yourself. And listen, being green is where you want to be. So okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to head on to Magic Mind. They have packages with 15 bottles or 30, depending on you. And, you know, because I always come with the discounts, thank me later. Use my code XPODCAST20 at checkout to get 48% off your first subscription for the next 10 days. Or if you're just trying it out for the first time, but I promise you, you'll get hooked, you can use it for a 20% off. But just remember, over time, the subscription is always better. Enjoy.
How do you like to be approached though?
Hey, like, what's up? Like, let's get a drink. I don't know.
There you go.
Like something very simple.
Very simple. All right. She likes when someone flat out offers the drink.
Well, I guess it's just more like if you're like out and you're kind of socializing.
Yeah.
Unless you're like at a table, it's like, let's get to know each other. Let's like exclude ourselves from everyone and get to know each other. Have a drink is like kind of just like
Yeah.
wander off kind of thing.
Yeah, to have some alone time.
You
That makes
know?
sense. Yeah.
So we met at Marcus. I like figured you weren't from here. I feel like when you live here, you kind of know like, you know, the scene, where
What-
people are from.
what gave it-
I was
okay,
like,
yeah.
you just know. And also the friends you were with. I was like, these people are not from
We
Montreal.
didn't look like we were from here.
Absolutely not.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I mean, it's a good thing. Okay, so so I'm walking by, and then what did you say to me?
Oh yeah, you were walking by. I think I was sitting down. I was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And you're like, "Yeah, what's up?" I was like, "Can you sit down so I can introduce myself?" And I think that might have thrown you off a little bit.
What did I say?
Yeah, I mean, you were receptive to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just started chatting, and that was basically it. I think
Yeah.
it was. I don't know. We were talking for like, and then your friends came over, my
Yeah,
friends.
yeah,
We were
yeah.
just all mingling.
Yeah.
That was it.
Why New York over Miami?
In terms of though that's just where I'm from. But
No, I know, but like, why did you move?
Oh, why Miami? Oh,
Yeah.
A few different reasons. One, I work remote, so I could live theoretically anywhere. I grew up in New York, so it just kind of got old to me. Like New York will always be home, but
Yeah.
Miami, in terms of like the financial benefits, the tax incentives, the weather. I was talking to your friend before. Like the people in New York just aren't really that friendly.
No.
Like Montreal, which we could talk about. Like you guys are very, very friendly and
So-
hospitable.
Yes.
Miami is a little bit in between. Like people are very friendly there. I haven't seen like too many fights in Miami though. Way more in New York. It's more hostile.
Yeah.
You know, it's densely populated. The bars are like, if you're going out, they're very crammed.
Yeah.
You get shit spilled on you. Yeah, but
For
so those are
sure.
some reasons. Like in Miami's just it's the place to be these days.
Yeah. Everyone I talk to, they're like, why do you like New York? It's so dirty. I'm like, I don't like think of that though when I'm in New York. Maybe it's because I don't live there, but like,
Could you picture yourself living there?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess like I find New York kind of still has like a Montrealness to it, a little bit. You know, like you could find a good coffee shop. Like there's a lot of just like hole in the walls.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's similar, more similar to Montreal in that aspect.
Yeah.
But it's very fast paced, so some people don't like
I
that.
love that.
You do like that, okay? Yeah. So like some people like going for 2 or 3 days or a weekend, and that's all they need because it's
Yeah.
very overstimulating.
Yeah.
There's 8 million people just in the borough of Manhattan alone at any given day.
Yeah.
So like some people literally cannot handle like seeing that many faces all at once,
For
so they need
sure.
to like take a step back.
But at least when you're dating, like I'm not dating the friend. You know what I mean? There's so many people that like.
Yeah.
You're not like.
Yeah, you're not running into the
crossing
same
that
people. That's
many-
what I feel like in Montreal is.
Oh, Montreal,
Yeah.
you hit one girl, it's like, be careful.
Damn,
How
really?
many-
It's like that. Everyone knows everyone here.
Kind of, honestly.
Really?
I would say, right? Wouldn't you say? I would say pretty much like, yeah, a lot of people say that.
Is it
honestly.
competitive more like over girls or guys here?
Canada has a lot of pretty girls. I
Yeah,
would
I
say in
noticed that,
terms
yeah.
of like guys, there's not that many good options.
What makes you say that?
Just I guess from my experience and
Yeah.
like I feel like for the most part, the type of guy I would be interested in, most girls would want. Is that like crazy to say?
But that's how most, like female nature, that's how most girls are. Whether or not they want to admit it, like that's, most girls are interested in a guy that other girls also want. Because it's like, no one wants that guy. They're like, naturally like, all right, what's wrong with him?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. No one gets hit on more like the Taken guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But like,
Some guys wear fake wedding rings out to like become more like attractive. People do that.
wait, what?
Yeah, you never heard of that?
No, that's
Yeah.
genius. That's genius for like toxic people.
Yeah, that's wild. Could never be
Wait,
me.
oh my God, have you ever done that?
No. No.
I don't buy
Definitely
it.
not. That to me is a little bit, as a guy, like a little bit desperate.
And
Like,
like,
you
I'm
need
just
that.
curious what happens when a girl is like, oh, like you're married? Like, I wonder what
I mean,
happened.
the guy who's going all his way to wear a fake wedding ring, he probably has an elaborate story behind it.
Yeah, we're married. It's not
Yeah,
doing
we're separated,
We're
yeah.
separated. It's not doing so well.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, I'm going to fix him. I'm going to be the savior. And it's like, baby girl, please.
Damn.
Yup. Just picture, okay? I go out for dinner with my girlfriend and the bill gets covered.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like, as a girl after that, it's like whether you're accustomed to like that or not, it kind of becomes the standard in a way where you're just like, it's almost like expected when like you see
Oh.
a guy or like, like, or you meet a guy and he's like at your table and like eventually it's like what he's gonna leave and then be like, okay, like, so pay your bill and then come join us.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's like
Well, if you're an attractive girl, like you could live kind of for free. Like I live in Miami, where that is completely like the
Capital.
epitome of all that. Like there's promoters everywhere, like girls, like there's like
Yeah.
promoter dinners, and like in Miami, there's no like me and my friends always joke like there's no like days of the week. There's no weekends or weekdays.
Which is crazy.
There's
It's like
lit-
Vegas.
That's
all
what I'm
year
saying. Yeah,
round.
you can go out every single night of the week if you wanted to. So like, if you don't have any discipline, like you could really fall under and like be in a bad place, which we could talk about. But like as a girl, you can go to a promoter dinner every single night of the week and just eat for free. Like if I was a girl, like I'd probably be doing the same thing. Like why not? You know, and you're going to like the best venues. You want to pass that bottle? Appreciate it.
So Peyton, what is your 3 turn on and turn offs in a woman?
Okay.
Start with the good. Always start with the good.
Start with the good. Let's see. I guess physically, emotion, or like personality wise, or everything.
Whatever. Your 3 biggest turn ons. Like what gets you really, really like, damn, I like this girl.
Okay. I would say number 1, character wise, would probably be like intelligence.
Okay.
Like I need to be able to have like a more than a surface level conversation, like an in-depth conversation,
Right.
or else like it'll just kind of get stale. So I would say intelligence is probably 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, I would say someone who's like humble and probably not like a crazy into attention, like
Okay.
not a like crazy attention seeker. I don't know, that's pretty attractive. Like someone who's like low key,
Yeah.
like a little mystique about them.
Yeah.
Just like the unknown is kind of attractive. And then I guess I'm doing personality wise now.
Or physically, whatever.
Or physically, yeah. Physically, definitely, probably number 1 is like nice skin,
Okay.
a good skincare routine, good smile. Probably those are my top 2.
Yeah.
Being in decent athletic shape, I guess. In good shape, yeah.
Turn offs.
Turn offs.
You're like, oh God, where do we start? Or like you've been on a date, obviously, where you're like, oh God, this isn't it. What has been something that a girl's done that you're like, oh my God, I do not want this. Like, can't wait till this date is over.
Oh.
And also, are you like, ew, I'm never gonna date this girl, and also, let me still try and fuck her? Like, what's the vibes? You're like, yeah, I'm a guy, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I think guys put girls in like a box is what I call it. Like there's girls that are like potentially like date worthy material or like wifey material or whatever, and then there's girls in like the sex only category box. So like there are certain things that I could tolerate, but it might be like red flags that I probably wouldn't want to like date someone like that. For example, if someone is like narcissistic or like very much so like into themselves, they talk about themselves, and I get it. Like humans are humans; they like to talk about fun things that are going on in their life, whatever. But like if you don't ask any questions about the person you're on a date with, that's a red flag to me. Like if you're not engaged in the conversation, you don't know how to ask questions. So like that's one thing I look out for. Not asking enough questions which is fine. Like I've come to unfortunately expect like sometimes girls like don't really ask that many questions, which is fine. What else?
I listened to a podcast where a guy was saying every time he goes on a date, he'll make it all about the girl and ask her a bunch of questions, because like women feel the most comfortable when like you ask them questions and they're just answering. So they're like, wow, that's how they really start liking a guy, which is so
true. It's human psychology. That's the easiest way to trust someone.
Yeah.
Is to get them to like you.
Exactly.
What's the easiest way to get someone to like you? You ask about their life.
100%.
So I understand. I mean, I work in sales, so like I'm like my job is to ask questions and get people to open up and then match it with whatever product we have. But sales and dating are kind of the exact same thing.
100%.
Like they're very much so equivalent.
What are turn-ons in the bedroom?
I would just say first and foremost, you have to be very wet.
Okay.
That's number 1. Number 2 would be foreplay is probably a big thing. Like you don't want to just like get right into it.
A lot of guys forget about that though. It sounds so simple, but a lot of guys forget about that. They just think about themselves. They're like, oh, I just want to stick it in. And I'm like, we're not dating. It's like fucking 2 years now, and it's like, babe, pull down your pants. You know what I mean? Like, it's like at the beginning, you need to do that.
100%. Yeah, you just can't like you can't be selfish. I think there's probably a lot of guys that are a little bit too selfish and they don't care like about like the girl's orgasm. Yeah. For example.
Like, will you orgasm before a girl? A guy.
I mean, yeah, it's happened, but I prefer not to.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather a girl. I'd rather.
Baby, let's come at the same time.
I mean, that's hot, but I'd rather a girl come before I'm even inside her. Like, that's ideal.
I like
for
that.
sure. Yeah. But yeah, most guys like we were talking about before, like that's probably the easiest way for a girl to probably never hit up a guy again if like he's just selfish and not pleasuring her first. So I think
But you know what though? I don't feel like that's a deal breaker. Like I feel like girls will still be interested if a guy will do that, which is fucked up.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Until
like,
they meet the one guy who's
no,
like...
because I think at the beginning, women are not so focused on pleasing themselves. They're so focused on the man. And even at the beginning, like I have faked orgasms at the beginning because I'm not fully comfortable. Like
What would make you fake? I'm just curious. What would make you fake an orgasm?
It's just because I think like coming for a girl is like strictly through the mind. Yes. And at the beginning, I think we're in our heads a little bit. So
yeah,
like
it's way more emotional.
Yeah, and it's like, listen, I'm not gonna make you go down on me and start like if I'm not like mentally getting there, I'm like, like I don't want to make it seem like it because it doesn't take me long. But like right now, because I'm in my head and because it's a new guy, I'm like, it's gonna take me a little bit longer. So let me just orgasm. Let me just fake have you done it before? I'll just fake an orgasm. Yeah. So that, it's not like, we're here for hours.
Yeah, you give him a little confidence boost.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then it's like eventually, like, baby, do this. Like, this is what I like. It just takes time. Like, I think at the beginning, we're just a little bit more like...
Well, some guys probably just don't know how to do it. Like, we're not going to get into detail. But, like, I feel like...
No, we should get into details.
Unfortunately, most girls are just conditioned to probably not getting properly pleasured by a guy. So they always, most of the time, majority of the time, they go into any sort of like sexual interaction just assuming the worst and be like, oh, this guy's probably not going to make me come. So like either A, I'm going to fake it, or I could just make myself come on my own. Like I'm not going into it doing that because they're like, oh, this guy probably doesn't know.
But you can also be a guy who's doing everything right. But like if a girl is in her head, it's like never gonna happen.
Yeah, that obviously there's other factors that play into it, but it's also all about communication. So like
for sure,
asking a girl like what makes you come, like
100%.
I feel like people don't really ask.
And I like asking that before I even sleep with someone. 100%.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you not want to know that?
I'm like, tell me everything. Like, what do you like?
Why wait till the last minute?
You know what I mean? Like, I want to know.
Yeah, I would ask that on a first date. Why not?
How many drinks are we in? Honestly, like, just takes the lead, knows what he's doing, is very confident, very funny. I like a funny guy.
There you go. Okay.
I think that's about it.
That's it. The bar is that low.
Damn. No. There's actually a lot more. I'm like, how crazy do I want to seem? Has to have his life together.
You're not that
how
selective.
much money do you have?
Really? Okay. What's the threshold?
I don't know if I can say that.
Please do.
Say your I hate you.
Why not? No, I'm curious. I have no judgments, by the way.
I met a guy and like he was great and all, but I just like didn't like his watch.
Interesting. What was the watch? Is it a G-Shock?
If you don't have a nice watch, don't wear a watch.
100%.
Do you agree with me?
I agree.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, what is that watch?
Yeah.
Like, I'm someone who, like, I know a lot about, like, fashion, clothes, watches.
So
like,
what do you notice on a guy?
That's, like, in the top 3.
Okay. But what else? Fashion-wise first.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I'm okay if, like, a guy doesn't dress the best. For me, that's, like, one of the things where I'm like, it's fine, I could fix that.
Okay. Interesting.
But, like, a watch is, like, it's a whole mentality.
Yeah.
Like,
people put a lot of value into the watch. Like, I understand, though.
Okay, if I'm on a date and I see a guy with a Fossil watch, like...
That's fair. I mean, I get it.
Is that fair? Peyton's making it out to be fair, but like...
Well, it's all based on...
And it's not me being like, I'm a gold digger, I need this, I need that. Like...
For sure.
It's just more like, why don't you like nice things?
I mean, there's...
Yeah, I know.
The devil's advocate is like, there's more that can go into like...
For sure.
What if he, like, that's what he likes or his preference, or maybe that's all that he can afford, or he likes...
Fair.
He likes Fossil. I understand like the status of having a nice watch. Like me personally, I don't wear watches.
Yeah.
Like I have one of my best friends. Like he has an AP. Like and it's
Yeah.
fire for sure.
Yeah.
And it definitely like people recognize it. Although guys recognize it way more than girls, but maybe you guys do it more discreetly.
Yeah, no. We realize, trust me.
Yeah, I understand that. So like again,
But it's not like, oh, a guy has an AP, oh, he has money. Like that whole like idea should be squashed also, because the poorest guys wear the most brand names and like really show the most. So it's I don't want to get that confused as like, oh, like you must be rich if you have an AP or a
Got
Rollie.
it.
Like I know that's not a thing. I think it's just
But
more
how
like
you just said that kind of comes off.
100%. Why would you settle for a fossil instead of not wearing one and working towards?
I understand that. Unless he really likes Fossil, he could be a Fossil like fan. Who knows? Got to give Fossil some love. You know.
Fuck, at this point, I'm being sponsored by them. For me, it's like if I'm walking to the bar with a guy who's wearing a Fossil, I feel like I'm embarrassed.
Really? Then maybe you should just tell him to leave it at home tonight. You know? Just don't
But
wear
like,
a watch.
just don't wear one.
Don't wear a watch. That I understand. Don't wear a watch.
Like,
I understand. Hey, it is what it is. I think because this happens in Miami a lot. Miami's very superficial in terms of like brands and people wearing logos.
but see,
and
where I like counter that is like a guy who's wearing all Gucci, Louis, like disgusting.
Yeah,
like,
no.
don't even come up to me. Like, it's disgusting.
No, yeah, just
You have $0 in the bank account. All you do is spend all your money on trying to like get girls that you literally know you can't afford.
Right.
Honestly.
It's the lack of like emotional awareness. So like if he
Yeah.
needs to be reliant on, tables and being flashy and wearing all the logos head to toe, like that should be a red flag.
Yeah.
Like for a girl. Yeah.
For sure.
It happens a lot though. It's it's crazy how much people like, and like me personally, like I enjoy nice things, but I don't need to like wear like a bunch of like logos. That's just not, it looks tacky to me.
For sure.
Yeah. But some girls like it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they're into it. Couldn't be you.
Yeah. Hustle.
All right, what are your other red flags other than poor fashion?
No, because fashion is like fixable. But
you would fix a guy's fat. Like, how would you do that?
I would change a guy's style.
Really?
If I meet the perfect guy and like he doesn't dress well, I'll fix that. Like that won't be a deal breaker for me. But when I see a guy who dresses well, I'm like, fuck, like.
Give me like what's a fire fit? Like someone
Just,
walks
like,
in and you're like, damn, he's
just like clean, like a hot hoodie, like.
Okay.
Just like very simple, like street style. I don't like when a guy tries too much, like has to do like the whole like she loves going on a date with a guy who's like wearing a suit. Like I'll die.
Oh really?
Like what are you doing on a date with
showing
a
up
suit? Like
in a
it's
suit.
just like much. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's a little, yeah.
I like a guy who's so like comfortable in himself that he just could be like, he's wearing jeans. It has to be nothing crazy. He could literally be in Uniqlo, but I cannot see a Fossil watch.
There you go. All
You
right.
know, it's
skinny
a little,
jeans though.
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like a good baggie, some swag.
Fair. Okay. In New York, I think the fashion is way better. That was one of the things. Like I said, I
better.
thought you were from New York because like you dress like a lot of like girls in New York or whatever.
Yeah.
Because me personally, I like that baggy, more mysterious look where like all they're showing is like their face, so it's like leaves your mind to wander a little bit. And be like kind of what do you actually look like underneath?
100%.
It's very curious. That's why I think the baggy trend is in.
Now
yeah.
I get why you came up to me. I was wearing baggy pants.
There you go.
Oh my God, man,
Were
they're
you
all
wearing
the
it?
same.
Were you wearing that night?
I was. You're like, you look like a girl from New York. You dress like a girl from New York.
Not 2 Sundays ago.
No. I was.
No, you were wearing like some dress.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Memory is pretty good. Cheers, Peyton.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's do it. Now I'm remembering the eye contact.
Okay, this was.
Your shot face is great.
This is fucking nasty.
Thank you for making us drink tequila. I know it's your favorite. All right, so let's go. Your biggest turn-ons in bed, let's say.
Someone who takes things slowly. Like I don't like when he's like, take off all your clothes, like relax. Let's get there.
Yeah.
I think also someone who's really good at kissing is like super attractive.
Got
like,
it.
I love like if someone's not a good kisser, I'll never get to the bedroom with you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if you're
Like,
a bad kisser, it's 2024. Like, how can you be a bad? I guess.
I mean, no, it's like a
Yeah.
puzzle. Not everyone matches.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Damn. But yeah, that would not turn me on. Like if I guess
Like,
if a girl
would
was a bad
you
kisser.
get like if a girl was a bad kisser, would you still hook up with her?
No.
You wouldn't.
No. Definitely not. Like that would be like it would
Interesting.
like make me be like, all right, you don't even know how to kiss.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine how you would be.
Yeah.
Or want to imagine how you would be like in bed. So
Yeah.
I'd just be like, nah, like it's probably done there.
Yeah.
But that's yeah.
No, but I think when it comes to like the bedroom, I like to be more like in my like feminine energy. I'm more like whatever the guy wants. Like
Really?
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm not like
So
dominatrix. Like I'm gonna like get up. Like that's afterwards when we've like been together.
Okay.
But I'm
You're
more
talking about
like-
first time.
Like first like couple of times, I'm more like the
Right.
princess. Like whatever you
okay.
want.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm more like quiet.
It's like getting choked,
the
but not to the
cra-
point of unconsciousness.
No, I
Tastefully getting
I love
choked.
to be choked.
Okay.
I absolutely love to be choked. I love spit.
Like mouth spitting.
Yes.
Okay.
I love a lot of things, honestly. There's nothing that's like really off the table when I'm like
Off limits.
off limits. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No.
That's good. You're open minded.
Yeah.
That's all right.
No. Because I think if I get to the point where I'm like, oh, I want to sleep with you, then I'm like, oh, like I'm.
Yeah. Hopefully you built up enough.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like,
with
oh,
the
whatever
person.
you want, like whatever turns you on, like let's talk about it, like
Yeah.
let's do it.
And you don't want to, like you were saying before, like you don't want to leave any stone unturned. Like hopefully you probably have had some conversation
Right.
about what you like, what your preferences are.
Exactly.
Because like I mean, me personally, I would never want to go into the bedroom with like kind of not knowing what someone likes. You know,
Yeah.
It's like it's not leading the blind, leading the blind.
100%.
You know, but most people don't. I feel like don't have those.
Conversations.
No.
You really know when sex is good. I feel like if sex is really good for one, it normally is good for the two.
Correct. It's all about
Yeah.
bodies being in unison or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I was telling you at Marcus about like if a girl like doesn't really like if she like tries too hard to like fuck you back like
Oh my God.
while she's on top
So
of
see, that's what I mean. Like I really don't take the lead the first.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm just like kind of more.
yeah, but it's like I would also like want to know like what pleasures you, with
For
while
sure.
taking the lead.
For
Kind of just like
sure.
somewhat assuming, but also
Yeah.
like getting your input.
Yeah. From hooking up with girls, what do you think is like the number one thing that like men overlook?
Oh, probably I would guess how to make a girl orgasm.
Okay.
For sure.
Can you give some tips for the men? There's like 60% of men who listen to this. It's like 57.
Yeah, I mean, for
You're like,
is
oh
it
God.
60% men?
It's like 53, depending
Got
on
it.
that. Like YouTube is 53,
Okay.
audio is like
Interesting.
47.
So my recommendation is find out and have a conversation prior whether
Yes.
she prefers to orgasm over like penetration,
'Kay.
or from like fingering or like
Yeah.
getting like
Most women is definitely not from
Not-
penetration.
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
which most guys. I mean, maybe
They
know
think
that.
like if I ram her hard enough, like she's gonna come. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Damn, I'm about to get into crazy detail. Also, like if you're like fingering a girl, like don't go crazy. Like don't do like
Pull-
the crazy whammy bar. Like you have to like
Oh my God, 100% Peyton.
no,
No.
massage,
It's
you
so
know,
weird.
contour. You get the idea.
Yeah,
People
you gotta
know.
be calm. Touch
Yeah.
the inner thigh, like very
Correct.
casual.
Yes, yeah. Work your way down there, do a little, teasing, whatever, get her stimulating. And that's it.
Yes.
Yeah. And when
Yeah.
you know, like I guess she could be faking it, but hopefully when you know, you know.
No. But if you do it like that, normally, like it's fine.
It
It's
should be good. It
It's
should be
fine.
good.
You're like, I don't want to be
But
fine.
yeah,
I want to be great.
most guys just want to, like we were saying, they just
Get
want to get
off.
right into it, and they want to rush, and they probably
That's the
won't get texted
problem.
back. That's how you
Yeah.
get in the friend. That's how you get friend zoned, I guess.
How do you feel when a girl like texts you first?
I actually like that.
Do you?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I'm not a big texter.
Okay.
I'd rather just like call or FaceTime.
I love that.
Ways like
Yeah.
I have to know you really well for me to be like on my phone texting you throughout the day. Like I don't really like need to have like immense amount of small talk,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to coordinating plans. Like call when and where are we meeting, or
Yeah.
I'll tell you, okay, this is where I want to meet, blah blah blah, let's do this, XYZ,
Yeah.
are you down? And that's it. But to answer your question, yeah, if she checks first, I like that. Most girls probably like a lot of girls like probably have a rule where it's like I refuse to.
Oh my God. I'm like, he's not thinking about me if I have to text him.
There you go.
It's like
that's how people mutually ghost each other. Right?
Yeah, literally.
When both people are waiting for each other to text first, you know.
Well, I think the way we see it is like if a guy really wanted to, he would.
But vice versa. If a girl wanted to, she also would.
But don't you want to chase a woman you like? Like, why would you want a girl to like run after you?
It depends on how well I know her. Like,
Okay. No, I think it's like it changes obviously, like depending on how long you guys have been talking and stuff. And
everything changes once you guys have sex. Let's just be honest.
100%. I'm so glad you brought this up.
There's a. I'll just describe it briefly.
Everything is in our hands until we fuck you.
There's exactly. There's a power dynamic. All the power is in the hands of the woman before sex.
100%.
And the man is doing everything he can to extract that from the girl, which is just to have sex with her.
Yup.
Okay? He's taking you out to dinner. He's getting tables, whatever. He's spending a lot of time, money, resources on her.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as, that's why girls probably hold out for a little
Yup.
bit, whatever.
Yup.
As soon as they have sex, guess
Yup.
what? All of the power is now in the man. So it's on the woman to then court him in a sense. It's
Really?
for the most part. I mean, unless you want to be one night stand sometimes, but like you literally gave up all of your power. You let him hit. And now it's on you as the girl. He should still be pursuing you for sure, but it's a complete power shift to the
I
guy.
get what you're saying in the sense where like you'll also be showing a guy that like you don't do this all the time if you're like messaging a guy back.
Exactly. That's why it
I
comes
get
off
what you're
as
saying. Like
attractive.
the psychology of like, oh, okay, like when a woman has sex with a guy, they release a certain like
who does it?
chemical we release when we have sex with a guy where like afterwards we're like a little bit more attached.
Yes, yeah.
So,
I mean,
like,
it's
if
a very emotional experience.
Yeah, so like
you
afterwards,
release a lot of estrogen. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like afterwards, if a girl messages a guy, it's like her showing like I don't kind of do this all the time. Like I'm interested now, or like oh, like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna just like fuck you and now like
100%.
don't.
Like you let your guard down as a girl. Literally,
Yeah.
you let someone inside of you.
That's the most vulnerable part when you're like, fuck, I just fucked a guy. Like, what's the next?
Yes, yeah. And now, so partly it's kind of on the girl to.
And like a lot of times, what we'll do is like kind of just like not message because we'll be like, okay, like let's see like what he's gonna do at this point, you know,
yeah.
like what
You probably do that.
100%.
Really?
Because I'm
Like,
like
after
you,
it happens?
Yeah, like you need to
Damn.
still pursue me.
Yeah, a little, definitely.
You
But
know,
at some
but-
point, like it's okay to pursue the guy.
know.
Like it's female nature. We were talking about this before. Like deep down, like you kind of want to, even though most girls probably won't admit it, they actually want the guy that they want to pursue. If 10 guys are pursuing the one girl,
Mm-hmm.
and there's one guy that's like not really giving her much attention, and she's attracted to him, guess what? She's probably going to be more attracted to that guy as opposed to the 10 that are coming after her. It's just how you guys work.
I know it's so annoying though.
Yeah, I guess it's
I don't
annoying.
want to
It's
be
just-
like that. I want to change that.
It's just female nature. Yeah, it's dicey, I guess. I don't know.
It
Depends
is
on if you live in a
dicey.
major metropolitan city, for sure. Like Montreal,
Yeah.
New York, Miami, LA, probably. You know, there's just so many people. So like theoretically, you could meet someone new every single night, and that's just what it is.
I hate the first date questions.
Yeah,
Oh my
no,
God.
yeah. That's why
could
that's why I
literally-
like meeting people in the wild.
I
first.
could literally cry. Like, let's get that out of the way in like 2 minutes. Like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, for sure. Or don't even bother. Like
oh, I hate the interview. Like, what do you do? Like, I can't.
no, you know it's a good date when you're like 2 hours in and you guys don't even know what each other do.
Yes, that's the best.
That's a good sign.
dates.
Yeah, that's always a good sign.
Yes,
So-
that is a good sign.
But yeah, it's definitely in 2024. It's definitely interesting.
yeah.
The,
How do you know? How do you know when a girl's after just your money, or like just after like knowing like what you do and like like who you are? Type
yeah,
thing.
me personally, like I don't flaunt. Like I'm very like low key reserved. Like I'm not like active on social media. Like I'm just a civilian. But
Yeah.
I don't really like disclose too much information about like finances and all that type of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I really have to know someone. Like we were talking about this a little
Yeah.
bit last Sunday or whatever. But yeah, I don't really like. I could sense, like I'm not like stupid. Like I can sense like when a girl is like,
What are things that a girl will say that you'll be like, oh, okay, she's really just trying to figure out if I have like money
yeah,
or
well,
not.
let's just be honest. When a girl asks, "What do you do for a living?" Don't you like?
Okay,
most,
this is a great conversation.
most guys would rather just her ask, "How much do you make?" That's really what she's asking,
Oh wow, interesting.
in my opinion. Like, unless a girl is like, again.
But it's also like most of your day is consumed by what you do. So what the fuck do you do for a living?
Yeah, as long as like
You
you're probably
know?
not a drug dealer or like you're
Yeah.
a guy that's on OnlyFans or something like that. Yeah, I guess some girls are curious
Yeah.
about what you do, but like if you
It's
if you
so
know,
two-sided, that
if
question.
you notice though, like most people ask what do you do for a living, then there's zero follow-up to that after that question. You understand?
Oh, really?
Most of the time.
Oh, no, I'll ask more questions.
No, I respect that. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, most times, it's like, oh, what do you do for a living? You say what you do. Oh, that's
And
cool.
then most times girls will nod and be like, I don't know what it is. If I don't know what it is, I'll be like, I don't know what that is. Like, I actually, like, tell me about it.
So you, like, that's very admirable. Most girls are probably not
yeah.
doing that.
So
It's just that
girls, like,
additional
you need to, yeah, because I think a lot of times girls don't want to feel like an idiot where they're like, oh, I don't know what it is. So let me just ask. And then they'll just change conversation.
And then they'll just change the conversation. That
Yeah,
happens
no,
so
no.
often. But I respect someone who has, like, genuine curiosity about, like,
Yeah.
what I do for work. Because,
Yeah.
like, again, I don't, like, sometimes it's boring to people. But, like, I
sure.
genuinely, like to explain what I do for a living. Because
Yeah.
I find it interesting and I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
So,
It's nice to be with someone who does something completely different, that you're like learning something else,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
yeah, it's new. It's refreshing.
it's new, it's refreshing, and I think it's just, I think more women should do that. So that's one tip, guys.
There you
Don't
go.
just ask what do you do for a living, but
Yeah,
have the
dive a little
follow-up,
bit
but
deeper.
Yeah, literally.
At least fake like you're interested.
No,
it'll get
no,
you
but
way
literally.
it'll get you way further with the guy. I'm telling you.
No, it's
'cause
true.
Smart guys will pick up on like if a girl asks,
Yeah.
hey, what do you do for a living? And then the conversation dies right there. A lot of like smart guys will be like, oh, okay, like she just nodded her head and probably doesn't understand or doesn't care to want to learn more.
Yeah.
So at least just act a little bit more interested.
No, but I think also like no guy is like wanting you to be the smartest. Like they don't expect you to know. And I think a lot of times we like have this whole like persona where we're like, oh, we don't want to look like idiots. But it's like, it's actually when you ask the questions, whether you think you sound like an idiot or not.
No, it's
It's
just
like-
genuine curiosity. Like I
Yeah.
said, when you asked me like what's my biggest turn, like intelligence.
Yeah.
Like and part of intelligence is just wanting to learn more. How do you learn more? You ask questions. So
Yeah.
like that's something that like I find very attractive is
Yeah.
when like a girl asks like a lot of open-ended questions more relating to like my life because I don't just like open up about
Yeah.
my life to like certain people. But I'm curious, are like job-wise, are there any like certain professions that are
For sure.
no-goes or like that you like you're like
Absolutely.
ding 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 like what do you
Absolutely.
yeah go, all right, go off.
Oh my God. Okay.
Let's hear.
So if I'm on Raya, which is like the app that I'm on.
Oh, the dating app. Yeah,
yes. If I see someone who's an actor, I'll most probably 95% of the time X.
yeah. Okay.
Art, X. Photographer, X.
Okay.
I need to see like even finance for me is a little bit like
Crypto.
crypto is so 5 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
guy who says he's doing crypto now, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's in Miami for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that should be a red-
everyone's doing crypto.
That should be a red
but,
flag
like,
for sure.
Yeah, literally, biggest
Yeah,
red
most
flag.
people fail at it,
It's the
but, yeah.
biggest ick when a guy's like, "Oh, I do crypto." Like, do you have anything else going on? Because it's not looking good if we have a family.
Yeah, no, actually. All right, that's good.
Or
Like lawyer, police.
I don't want to date a police officer because I feel like they got into it for other reasons.
Yeah,
And like that's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah. There's a
the
power-
The psychology behind it is just like
Yeah, lawyers
where
can
you-
be argumentative sometimes.
lawyers is just I don't think that's gonna
All
work.
right, you
for
like
me.
nerds a little bit.
I like nerds a little bit.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. What about you? You're like so not podcasters.
Yeah, no, definitely not. That should have been red flag number one. Anyone with an Instagram? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, Andrew Tate.
To be honest, like I feel like from my perspective,
A woman in the arts.
No, I don't really care like too much what a girl does for like if she's like in healthcare. I actually like that
Okay,
a lot because I
most
work.
men like that.
Yeah, I work in biotech, so like that's attractive. Like so, at least we have some type of common ground.
Yeah,
I'm
that's fair.
trying to think of things that. What did you ask? That are off limit, like that I don't like, or like
Don't like, do like, both. What about an OnlyFans girl? Would you date an OnlyFans girl?
Would I date one?
Would I fuck one? That's a different question.
Yeah, I wouldn't wife up an OnlyFans girl.
Yeah.
But hey, if you got to make money, like I understand that selling your body, like
See, the thing is here's my thoughts on this, okay? A lot of women could do it. Great.
Yeah.
But you're sacrificing so much by doing that, and you don't even realize.
Oh yeah, no.
Like,
You're
see,
there
the thing
for a
is
quick
like,
bag.
yeah, you can make so much money. That's great, but you'll never get the high quality guy that you do want.
Yeah.
By that, because a high quality guy is never gonna want to be with
Yeah,
a
they won't
girl
take it.
who, and that's where I think it's like,
They shoot themselves in the foot, but that to
Yeah.
me is a lack of intelligence for that girl to not realize, okay, you are eliminating a massive dating pool of high quality guys
Yeah.
that are probably not going to take you serious if they know you have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So like, to me, like if a girl like still goes ahead and does it, I'm just like, but again, maybe they just want to do it for themselves. That's fine. But most guys are like, I wouldn't date like an OnlyFans girl. Like that's just kind of off
Yeah.
limits. I like, it's not. But hey, I guess some people need to make money.
but you know what though? Some guys will like that,
Yeah,
but like, I don't
it's
know.
similar to like I guess like dating a porn star. Like no one probably would ever really want to do that, and it never really
Yeah.
ends up like
Working
happily
out.
ever after.
No.
Like
It doesn't.
there's just certain professions when it comes to like, no offense, prostituting your own body and selling your body where
Yeah.
like the whole world can see. And the other thing is most girls like OnlyFans, yeah, it's pretty lucrative, but you have to be pretty famous to begin with. I mean, unless like
Mm-hmm.
you're really hot, most girls don't actually make that much money on OnlyFans, I feel
Which
like.
is even more like,
Which is sad. It's like,
like,
you're
if
literally,
I know I'm risking my life, I'm not
Yeah,
getting the
you're-
man of my
yeah,
dreams.
you're
I better know I'm racking in.
yeah,
at
that's what I'm
least-
saying. Yeah, you're
at
selling like your
least,
body
like-
or your pictures or whatever for like, $5 a month and you have, 10 subscribers. Like you should probably
Yeah.
need another income source,
For sure.
The
The way I see it is like, is that your last resort? Like, have you tried every other way
have
to
you
make
exhausted
money
all other options
before you went there? Because this
Yeah.
goes back to like the fossil watch. At the end of the day,
For sure.
there's so many ways to make money.
Mm.
And like, I know some people who like aren't there might like attack me for saying that, but there's a million ways to make money.
Yeah.
And like, if you haven't figured out a way,
Yeah.
like that's just not the kind of guy I'm interested in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, figure it out. And I think that goes with like becoming a man versus a boy. Like you have to figure it out. Like
Yeah, you have to
life
go
is
through
not
some hardships.
easy. Go
Yeah.
through some hardships, and that's what makes you a man, and that's what makes women attracted to you.
Like, like guys have to kind of work and build themselves up where like an
Yeah.
attractive girl can just instantly pop off on OnlyFans, go viral and start making money.
Yes,
like, that
but
to me
I
is
think
just,
I had an interview with actually a plastic surgeon, and he was
Hmm.
saying men need to obviously go through hard times and do all the hard things to get to becoming a man.
For sure.
Where like women will admire and like want to be with them because they're better than them. Because women always want to be with a guy who's better than them.
Yeah.
And girls who fight me on this, I'm sorry. Like
It's just facts.
It's
It's just human
facts.
psychology.
So why would I want to be with a guy I feel like I'm better than?
that you're superior to.
No,
That's
never.
the
I'm
whole
gonna
adore,
literally
adore, yeah.
destroy him to shreds.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I need
you'll
to
just-
look up to my man like I'm literally the girl
Yeah.
learning from
Yeah,
him.
you need. So most girls, whether or not they want to admit it, they need to be with a guy that they fear that they would lose.
Yes.
Which is sad. Which is sad to say, but they need to be with a guy that they fear they would lose.
Yes.
That other girls are probably attracted to.
Yes.
This is just the reality.
It's so true.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of girls that may be a little bit delusional and don't see the world that way.
Yeah.
And like, I respect when a girl has that outlook and has that mindset
Yeah.
because it's a sign of like maturity and like you
Yeah.
kind of just know like the dynamics of the world and how things work. But like, girls just need that type of guy. And yeah, generally it's going to be a guy that other girls are also going to be attracted to.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes to, you want someone who's superior
sure.
to you.
For sure.
That you need to not necessarily chase their validation, but you need to be the one sometimes to text them first to court them a little bit. This is all after you guys have sex.
Yes,
Like,
yes. Okay,
know.
that's something I'm gonna start implementing, I guess.
Give it a shot. Yeah.
That's one thing that I'm not big on. But
What's that?
like messaging a guy afterwards.
Yeah. If you enjoyed your time, it's
Yeah.
what's the worst thing that's gonna happen?
I know. I just feel like I'm like my ego is bruised if I'm like going after a guy who's like,
But
nah,
what if
I'm
they
done.
respond right away and was like, "Hey, had a great night with you."
Yeah.
You
Okay,
know?
fair.
If it's good and he likes you enough, it really like you almost can do no harm like don't be like desperate, needy, blowing him up for sure. Like still kind of.
What's a good message after you just like had sex with a guy and like you dipped?
Like
you're
that
gone?
that
No,
night or
not that night. Like the next day. Like had an amazing time or like.
Oh,
what's
like
something...
hey, yeah, had a nice time. Like when's the next time I could see you? Like that would be a nice text.
Wow, interesting. You're even asking when the next date is.
Well, me, like I said, I'm not like the biggest like small talk or whatever. Like, hey, how's your day going?
You're just like cut to the chase.
It's fine. Like, hey, like we just had sex for the first time, so we've like both broken down a lot of barriers.
Yeah.
The next time, like we just texted for the first time. After that, you know, you can have a little back and forth, but also like if it was good and you like each other, let's see each other again.
Okay, so let's say a girl doesn't message you after you had sex. Are you gonna message her?
Yeah, I probably would. Like if it was good.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm like me. Like I would never like just ghost someone out of like.
Okay.
But also like before I would want to get to know someone first. So like I would probably have some sort of relationship with them before we do that. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I would message someone first. There has to be like just a good balance, good dynamic. There can't be a one-sided relationship where one person is solely pursuing the other person. There has to be
a balance.
Has to be balance. Exactly. But you know, that all comes with communication. So
Yeah.
but most humans don't know how to properly communicate, unfortunately.
Yeah. I ask this to every guest I have on. When you go on a date, who picks up the bill?
The guy.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. It's always nice if the girl like offers to split. I mean, I don't expect that to even happen.
Yeah.
That is not like that will make so any girls watching this, like if you even do that, that will probably make the guy even want to pay more. Just like psychology of the guy. Like that would make me want to pay even more. But I would pay the bill. Like if I'm asking you to go on a date with me, yeah.
What if a girl asks to go on a date? Do you expect her to pick up the bill?
No, I don't expect that.
Yeah.
I don't expect it ever.
Okay, wait.
It's 2024. Like it's
100%. I have so many follow-up questions.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go.
So let's say a girl pulls the whole like, oh my God, you know, like the fake, like, how much is it?
Oh.
Like, do you want a girl to like fake offer, or do you prefer she just says thank you?
I actually like when a girl like
Fake acts.
well, if it's fake, if sometimes it's genuine. Like
Okay.
I went on a first date and like the girl covered the bill, and I was like blown away by that. And like we actually had sex on like the first night.
Okay.
And like we like dated for a while. Like it made
Okay.
no difference. Like, but that is one thing. Like I'll never forget the fact that like she like we went out to drinks or whatever, and like she offered to pay, and we had never met, and she offered to pay the bill, and I was just like, wait, what? Like it just
Okay.
threw me off.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, you know, it's part of my culture, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, I actually
What's her
like,
culture?
it was Latina.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that stuck out for sure.
Okay.
But
Like,
normally I would. Like, I have no problem. Like,
yeah.
of course I'll pay.
But do you feel like a little bit less of a man?
Well, it depends on when. Is it the first date? Or?
Yeah, first date, second date.
It definitely was a little weird, but I was like, all right.
You're like, okay.
I was like, all right, man, I got taken out for drinks. We had a nice night, and that was it. Like, honestly, like I made up for it. Like,
For sure.
that's one way. Like, if you don't want to ever be one night standed by a guy,
Yeah.
you could do that, and like probably he like I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. Everyone's
So
different.
like because she paid, you're like, well, I'm gonna take her out again.
It wasn't. That was not the main factor. Like
Yeah.
it was a fun overall night, but that was definitely one thing that really stuck out to
You're
me.
like, wow, she's not a gold digger.
Yes.
She does not care if I'm wearing a fossil watch.
Yeah, exactly. I was not wearing a fossil.
Got it. Wow. Okay.
If I was, she might have just walked out. Maybe I don't know. You would have probably done that. Maybe.
So no, the way I see it is very like doing cute things. I don't think it's like a money thing. It's like, okay, like
Acts of service.
it's about doing cute things to show like you're in this with someone.
100%. Yeah, it's not
You
really even
know?
about the money. It's about again like acts of service, like going out of your
Yeah.
way to do something that's like you're letting someone know you're thinking about them.
Exactly.
So like the money thing, like for me, like I want to be with eventually a girl where like like the girl that I'm with, she'll never have to worry about
Yeah.
money or anything like that.
But she'll still do things where it's like cute.
Absolutely, yeah. If you
Yeah.
you know if we're going out or whatever, and you want to like buy a round or something like that, I always
Yeah.
like will appreciate that. Or if you're on a trip or something like that, and you get me something like as
Cute.
like a memorabilia, like I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
As well. Like
What's your love language?
I would say quality time is probably my number one.
Okay, cute.
And then number two is physical touch, for sure.
As a guy, if you don't say that, it's like,
Yeah, but actually, so most girls, whether or not they want to admit it, they need to be with a guy that they fear that they would lose.
yes.
Which is sad to say, but they need to be with a guy that they fear they would lose.
Yes.
That other girls are probably attracted to.
Yes.
This is just the reality.
It's so true.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of girls that may be a little bit delusional and don't see the world that way.
Yeah.
And like, I respect when a girl has that outlook and has that mindset
Yeah.
because it's a sign of like maturity. Because that'll always I'm like physical touch, like that's always going to be something that but like quality time, like, because you could get physical touch with like anyone, but the quality time, like I know how important like my time is to myself, so I can imagine like someone else's. So like that's something I really appreciate.
And also, I feel like words of affirmation is kind of like
you like that?
No, I'm saying like you can say that, you can say a bunch of shit, but like, do you really mean it? Like quality time really shows it. Where
That
like
shows, yeah.
words of affirmation, it's like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's the
like,
difference
do I
between
believe
doing-
what you're saying? It's like doing versus like saying.
Exactly, yeah. You know, actions speak louder than words. But yeah, words of affirmation, that's just not something
Okay,
that
so
ever
your two are physical touch and quality time.
quality time. And then probably third would maybe be acts of service.
Acts of service.
Like going out of your way, like doing something or like picking up a packet, like just certain things that like would be nice that I would do going out of my way for someone.
Yeah.
What about yours?
Definitely quality time for sure.
Okay.
I would say physical touch, but also like gifts.
Okay.
It's like
giving
I
or
feel weird saying that, but it's like no,
giving
it's
or
nice.
receiving?
I like both.
You like
I
both?
feel like most people they want to give what they like.
God,
Does that
okay.
make sense?
Yeah, I'm terrible at because like I don't like receiving gifts.
Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
you're awkward about it. You're like,
It's not that I'm awkward. Like obviously I'll say thank you, but like I'm very selective with like materialistic
Yeah.
things. So like I
rather-
I don't care for a lot of things.
Yeah.
So like when
But what
like-
if your girl knows you and knows this is what you want? Like it's
that's the thing. Like there's only
Yeah.
in my last relationship, because that wasn't something that I sought out in the relationship.
Okay.
She may have like our whole relationship, which was like 2.5 years, may have gotten me like 4 or 5 things, but only on special occasions. But that's
Yeah.
all. Like I didn't want. These were things that she knew I needed, but never would have bought myself, which I really appreciated.
oh right, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's very
anything else
cute.
I'll just buy myself. You
Yeah.
know? Like I don't like celebrating my own birthday or anything. Like I hate receiving gifts.
Okay, fair. No, I think that's cute though. When a guy's like, oh, I don't really like celebrating my birthday. I think that's a good sign.
That's a good sign?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good sign. It's a
Hate
good
it.
sign. Someone who's
for
so
girls,
like,
you know, you guys-
it's my birthday. We're doing this.
Yeah.
We're fine. It's like
Imagine a
okay,
guy having like a birthday
relax.
week or a birthday
Yeah,
month.
Like I'm like, oh, are you a mama's boy?
Nah, I have like a good relationship with my mom, but I wouldn't say. I'm
What
a
if
mom.
your girlfriend didn't like your mom? What would you do?
My girlfriend didn't like my mom? The thing I would do is find out the reasons why why she doesn't like her. Kind of address that.
But don't you feel like moms know everything? Like my mom, when I brought my ex-boyfriend, she was like, "This is never gonna work."
Oh, really?
Like moms know.
And it didn't work.
No,
Yeah,
but moms know everything. They see things that
Yeah.
like you don't always
They're
see.
very what's the word? Omnipotent, all knowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
And they analyze, and they're just
Yeah.
very like aware.
Yeah, well, I
they
think
see things like when you're in love. It's sometimes like things get blurred.
100%. But yeah, to answer your question, if my girlfriend like hated my mom,
Yeah.
it's probably just a dub.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna like go anywhere.
If your mom like put you aside and was like, "I don't like this girl for you,"
Same.
you
That'd
would
be-
just end it.
yes.
Okay.
Not right then and there. I would like rationalize why. Okay, what are your reasons why you don't like?
Yeah.
Again, I would try to unravel some of the underlying reasons.
Has
but if
that happened?
My mom personally,
Chill.
she's been like, at the end of the day, I want you to be happy. So if someone's not making you happy,
Cute.
then it should be ended.
Yeah.
So and that I appreciate that. But like again, I'm 30 years old. I can make my own decisions. Of course, I always appreciate my mom's advice.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make my decision. I'm pretty logical enough to
Yeah.
know when like I should probably
Yeah.
end a relationship. You know.
And what are your thoughts on like monogamy?
I think it's
We're in 2024. Say whatever you feel.
say whatever you feel.
As the fossil girl spoke. Say something so bad so I don't look bad alone.
No, we're not putting. Hey, it's for some people. I think a lot of people like need to find that one person that they want to be monogamous to.
Yeah.
And that's what I think what dating is.
Interesting.
I think I'm for it. I think there's people out there that you should be monogamous to for sure, but most people are probably in a constant battle trying to find and identify that person. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if I agree with you.
Yeah, go.
You're like, let's go. No, I think it's something that's like either like of value to you and like you want that, or I don't think it's like there's ever gonna be like the person that's gonna make you monogamous.
You don't think?
No. I think like love is also a choice.
Yes. Yeah.
So like I think at the end of the day you can be with a supermodel, the most beautiful woman, but eventually that gets boring too. Like you fucked her how many times before you're like, yeah, like it would be like your mind is gonna wonder like, yeah, it would be nice to fuck this person. I think at that point it just becomes like a more control thing. Like how much control do you have?
I was gonna say, yeah, I think there is a point where there's someone out there for me and you where you would be monogamous to and you would have the option to venture out in the relationship, but it's about the discipline of like, you know, having access to all that and saying, no, I like what I have. But like finding that person sometimes could be a challenge.
For sure.
You know, like I would never jump into a relationship where I would put someone through that, like moving forward. Like that's just not
moving forward. Love that. Moving forward.
But yeah, it's you know, you have to be very selective. But yeah, I think there's someone probably out there.
Yeah. But to think that like there's gonna be someone that you're going to want to be monogamous for, I think is dumb to say.
Got it, yeah. I can see that, yeah.
You know?
It just depends. It's like
I think it's something that has to come with you, like
100%,
within yourself, and
Yeah.
like something you want at that time. If it's like you're like, oh, I think this girl can convert me into being like a loyal man. Like, okay, yeah, he might be loyal for the beginning part because he's like infatuated with like the beginning stage, and obviously at the beginning stage everything is just like more like fun. But like, how loyal is he afterwards?
Correct. Yeah.
When like I'm saying, like you can be with a 10, and even eventually after you're with a 10, it's like, okay, well.
It does, yeah.
You know?
I completely understand.
I think that's the biggest problem with 2024. Like
that is the biggest problem.
I have other options. Like, am I making the right decision? But it's really about a choice and being like, okay, I'm gonna stick by this person.
Yes. Yeah, that's the biggest. I would say I agree. That is the biggest thing. It comes definitely, it's innate and you have to build yourself to that. It's no one's gonna make you be monogamous. You want to change and be that person like for them sometimes. But yeah, in today's dating age with social media and the ability to ultimately like meet a lot of new people, depending on the city you live in also, like it sometimes can be hard. So like
he's blaming it on the city, guys.
Well, it is sometimes, you know. There's a lot of good looking guys, girls around.
He's blaming it on the fucking city.
Of course, yeah.
It's not
Montreal,
me, it's the city. Like
it's the city. It's definitely not her. Yeah, sometimes people should just be single, you know? Don't put someone through that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or like you have to be with someone who's open-minded to the idea that you aren't going to be monogamous.
That's another thing. I mean,
you know, like I have friends who are like, I think it all stems though from childhood and like what you've seen growing up.
Yeah, what you've grown up with.
I think a lot of people won't admit that, but I think it really is. Like when I look at like my friends who believe in monogamy versus people who don't believe in it.
Correct.
It's normally parents who have split up, things that have happened versus like, I don't know, like if you've been shown a good example, normally you believe it exists. Like
correct. Yeah. It definitely goes.
You know,
how you were
or
raised.
it's like you've seen so much hardship that you want the total opposite for yourself. There's also that. Like it's really complex, but
it's very dynamic.
Yeah.
I
when I met Peyton, guys, he was like, I have a girlfriend in this city, this city, this city. And I was like, okay, I think I have to go.
Yeah. Just put me on blast right now.
I mean, you can save yourself, but you didn't.
What do you mean? You know that was a joke.
Yeah. Joke.
It was a joke.
Whatever guys joke about that shit, run, ladies.
Right. Just when girls say, I don't really be going out too much. I don't really go to parties.
I don't.
I know you don't. Yeah. Just
you
only
called
on days,
me to be like, hey, what's up? Where have you been? I'm going out with Ben. Where are you?
You only go out on days that end in Y. So I get it. Can I have the bottle? But yeah, at the end of the day, it's whoever you want to be. Like I think we were talking about this also. Most girls are way more. I think you agreed with this. Most girls are less concerned about actually like the act of being cheated on. Obviously, no one wants that to happen. Like that's like not good. It's devastating. Or whatever.
Yeah.
They would almost rather, if they had to choose between the two, they would rather like be cheated on than be left for another girl. You know, I think that's the underlying fear.
Yeah.
For most girls.
But most of the times, it actually just is a fuck. They're not gonna leave you.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
most of the time.
Yeah, you have to like understand the way like men think, and also be like strong enough to be like understanding of that.
Yes, but you need to have a lot of character and confidence as a girl.
Yeah.
Which naturally, like it's probably hard for a lot of girls to accept that, and so some people don't, and then they move on.
Yeah.
But that's that. So.
Yeah.
So you're about to move to Miami.
I know. I haven't
exciting.
even told my podcast listeners yet, but yeah.
Oh, my fault.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Guys, I'm
to.
working on my visa. I was debating between Miami and New York, and honestly, like I'm still figuring it out. But I'm gonna do both. I'm not gonna like stick to one. Like we'll see.
Yeah. What do you like about Miami?
What is there not to like?
We've never actually ran into each other there.
I know, which is crazy.
Yeah, because you go there a decent amount, right?
Yeah. Men are very showy there.
Yeah.
Which is like, I know I'm saying like I don't like the fossil guy, but I also don't like the guy who's so showy. So it's like a little mix, you know?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So what is your perception of the dating scene in Miami? Compared
Very,
to here, for
very,
example.
very showy.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Guys
first,
here,
that's
I
facts.
just look at them like, oh God, like you haven't made the move. Why?
Okay.
Like
I've heard that here, yeah.
I'm
It's
like,
very
why are
feminized
you
here.
not trying to have a better life for yourself? You know?
Yeah.
First of all, taxes here are like crazy.
Yeah. That's
We
why
could talk about taxes actually. You were saying the taxes in Miami are what? What's the
well, there's no state income tax.
Okay.
That was one of the reasons why I moved there.
Yeah, from New York.
In New York City, yeah, there's a New York State
Yeah.
tax.
Yeah.
There's a New York City tax.
Yeah.
So like, let's say hypothetically you make like $100,000 a
Yeah.
year, you're really actually only taking home like I think 59,000.
Yeah.
Which is like absurd. You're basically like getting cut in half.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to Miami, you're not getting that extra additional tax. They make up for it though, and like going out, restaurants, nightlife, where they give an automatic service charge, like the tip, 22%. And then they always on the bill, you could leave an option of like adding an additional tip.
Yeah.
And so like when people are out drunk, tourists, and the waitresses are like, so you want to leave a tip? Meanwhile, they've already added, so they make up for it.
For sure.
But overall, like if you're cognizant about like your spend, it's way more cost effective to live in Miami, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Than like place like New York.
And also like if you're like weather driven, like you want nice weather, like Miami
It's insane.
makes sense.
There's just no.
But I wouldn't say like Miami is the safest place for a girl to live. Like
agreed.
I feel safer
Agreed.
in New York, and a lot of
Really?
people say
Okay.
New York isn't the safest. But I feel like, I mean, I don't know.
It's all dependent on your areas,
Dependent like
you know?
where you are. Then again, you could be a good area. You turn one corner, you're like,
That's what
oh,
I'm saying,
what
yeah.
are we doing here?
Doesn't really matter where you are, what city. Like, just if you're a girl, like probably don't be out at like 3 a.m. by yourself. You know, like
100%.
that's never safe anywhere. So
Yeah.
But yeah, there are definitely some rough areas in Miami. You got to stay within
Yeah.
the confines of like Edgewater, Brickell,
Yeah.
South Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
South Beach is a bit like, meh,
Yeah, for sure.
you know?
That's what most people.
Edgewater,
That's what most people
Brickell.
think of Miami or used to. But
South
now,
Beach
like,
used to be the shit. Now it's like,
yeah, no.
what are you doing there drinking a pina colada? Like, go home. Go home with your big drink. Like, you're going to watch
yeah.
a drag show? Like, I got, like,
That yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know that bar, the Palace or whatever. You
I've
go
been
by.
though.
Yeah.
It's fun.
You've been. Yeah, I'm sure.
I've been because of my gay best friend, but it was
There you
was
go.
fun.
No, it's fun. It's definitely turning more. It's getting more like New York City because I like the
Yeah,
hustle.
well, because a lot of people are moving there
Yeah,
from New
yeah.
York, which I like, which is why
So
I think New York men are.
there you go. You heard it there.
Anyway, guys, this was so fun, Peyton. I'm so happy you came on.
I appreciate it. Thank you for
I literally
inviting me.
harassed you.
You harassed me.
So
Yeah,
I
You
did.
cold called me. You're like, I need you.
When you called, I was like, my eyes lit up. I'm like, perfect.
The light bulb went off.
The light bulb went on. That's so cute, though. You thought of calling me while you were bike riding.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so cute.
I got you.
Guys, Peyton, link your
She
Instagram.
was missed last night.
Oh, I know. He's just out here going out with my friends. Like, I just introduced you to these people. I didn't say you could take their number and like. I'm kidding.
No, Ben, good people.
Yeah, Ben is great.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the X Podcast. Peyton, it was an honor. Do you want to link your Instagram or do you not want to be seen?
I'm good. You can put it if you
You're
want.
like, I'm good.
I appreciate it.
I don't even follow you on Instagram. I don't even know what your Instagram is.
Oh, no, we didn't get that far.
I'm like, hey, come on the podcast. Like,
It's all good.
fuck the Instagram.
You're listening to the X Podcast.
Love ya.